Help, please!
Help me!
The first light of morning broke across the horizon, washing the roadside diner in a soft, golden haze. Steam curled from half-finished coffee cups. The low growl of motorcycle engines rumbled beneath the hum of dawn. The air smelled of fuel, leather, and bacon grease, the scent of the open road and the restless souls who rode it. The Hells Angels had stopped for breakfast. They looked every bit the part. Rough faces, heavy boots, patches stitched like warnings. People usually crossed the street to avoid them. No one ever wondered what those men carried inside. The stories, the scars, the small remnants of grace. Their laughter echoed across the chrome and sunlight until a sound cut through it. Sharp, desperate, human. A child's scream. Every head turned. From the edge of the parking lot came a tiny girl in a torn red dress, boots slipping on the cold pavement, hair tangled with dust and wind. Her cheeks were streaked with tears. "Please," she cried, her voice breaking. "They're hurting my mama. Please help her." The laughter died instantly. Even the engines seemed to fall silent. For a moment, nobody moved. Then one man did. If you still believe in kindness, in people who don't wait for applause to do the right thing, then stay with this story. Because what happened next might just restore your faith in humanity. The man who stepped forward was Mason Cole, broad-shouldered, eyes like weathered stone, the red and white Hells Angels patch bright against his black jacket. He'd seen a lifetime of broken things, bar fights, betrayals, blood. But he'd never seen fear like this in a child's eyes. He knelt in front of her, his voice rough but gentle. "Where's your mama, kiddo?" She pointed down the empty two-lane road toward a cluster of old trailers hidden in the trees. "They're beating her," she sobbed. "Please hurry!" Mason's jaw tightened. Without another word, he stood up and turned to his brothers. "Tank Rider, with me." The roar of 3 Harleys broke the morning calm as they tore down the road, engines screaming, dust swirling behind them like smoke. The diner fell silent again. The little girl trembled in the doorway as one of the other bikers wrapped her in his leather jacket and sat her by the window. Her small hands clutched the warm cup of cocoa he'd given her. Her eyes never left the road. 5 minutes passed. Then came the faint sounds of shouting, the kind that twists your gut, the cry of a woman, the crash of something breaking, then silence. Inside the trailer, Mason and his brothers found the nightmare. A man, drunk, furious, had a woman cornered against the wall, blood on his knuckles, rage in his eyes. The cracked window spilled a blade of sunlight across her face, swollen, terrified, pleading. Before he could strike again, the door burst open. Mason grabbed his wrist mid-swing, twisted until the bottle fell and shattered. Tank and Ryder pinned the man to the floor like a storm hitting ground. "No words," Mason muttered. "Just action." He turned to the woman. "You okay, ma'am?" Her lips trembled as she nodded, tears tracing the bruises. Outside, the faint wail of police sirens drifted closer. When the cops arrived, the bikers didn't run. They stood in the yard, calm and still. The little girl came running through the field, straight into Mason's arms, clutching his leg like a lifeline. The woman, Carla, explained everything. Her ex-boyfriend had just been released from prison and had tracked her down that morning. The officers cuffed him without a word. Mason lifted Hannah, that was the little girl's name, onto his bike. "You did good, kid," he said quietly. "You were brave." They rode back to the diner together, sunlight pouring through the trees like forgiveness. When they arrived, the small crowd waiting outside fell silent. Carla followed slowly behind, her face bruised but alive. Conversation stopped. Even the air seemed to hold its breath. Carla broke down, thanking them. "I didn't think anyone would come," she whispered. Mason just nodded toward Hannah. "She made sure we did." The diner owner brought out blankets and coffee. One by one, the bikers removed their jackets and draped them over the mother and daughter, rough hands offering soft mercy. Even the police officers turned away, pretending not to see their own eyes glisten. Mason knelt beside Hannah. "You take care of your mama now, all right? You're her little guardian angel." The girl smiled weakly. gripping his sleeve with tiny fingers. By noon, the story had spread through town, the little girl who ran to the Hells Angels and the men who didn't hesitate. Truckers stopped by to shake their hands. Locals brought food, blankets, thanks. When someone asked Mason why he did it, he simply said, "You don't ignore a cry like that. Doesn't matter what patch you wear. Some things are just human." Weeks passed. The town came together. Furniture, groceries, a new apartment for Carla and Hannah. And every Sunday, 3 Harleys could be found parked outside that diner. The same men who once rode to fight now came to check in, laugh, and share breakfast with a little girl who reminded them all that even the toughest hearts can hold grace. Months later, when spring melted the frost, Hannah drew a picture. A row of motorcycles, a little girl in red and a man kneeling to help her. She ran up to Mason outside the diner and handed it to him proudly. "This is us," she said. Mason stared at the crayon lines for a long moment before folding the paper and sliding it into his vest. "That's going with me wherever I ride," he said. If this story touched your heart, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to Kindness Corner, because sometimes the toughest souls carry the gentlest hearts.